A very, very warm, good evening. This is Arnav Chaudhary. It is Monday, the 28th of April, 2025. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's once more discuss the latest on Indian football, what's happening, what's not happening, what should we talk about, what should we not talk about. And there's a lot of things, as we've all heard, seen, happening in Indian football, and not the best days for Indian football. It's been for a while actually not been the best days, but let's see where we are heading into. So let me get into your questions, but before I do that, as always, the reminder: if you like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind, and help me grow the community and let more and more people be part of our conversations. And thank you for that. Good evening, Aditya. Developments have not been going good in Indian football. I want to ask you, who's going to represent Namdhari FC, Church Brothers in AIFF in CAS, since CAS demands the hearing? I don't know who's going to represent them. They're going to get someone or the other. Maybe they'll try and work around it and get someone from India to do it, which I guess doesn't work, but let's wait and see. So I have no clue, and let's see. At a certain level, how much can put penalty on a club? Aditya, they can put penalty on a club, they can put penalty on a federation, they can put penalties on an individual. They could ask FIFA to investigate these people. So therefore, there is a lot of discussion happening on what could be the outcome. Let CAS look at the situation, understand the case, and then, as per rules and regulations of the game, of the sport, take a call, and then we'll see who's going to get punished, who's going to get reported this way or that way. I think there are certain elements within Indian football who've gotten away with a lot of things, who are quite worried about what might be coming their way. Another thing, how do you think AIFF will convince Church Brothers to hand them the trophy back? Aditya, I don't care about how they do that, honestly. And Zorawar asks, has AIFF has instructed Church Brothers to trophy? Yes, Zorawar. It seems like even yesterday itself, there was a conversation about that, most probably. And so therefore, it's the AIFF job. The AIFF has messed this up. If the AIFF was smart yesterday, if they were really, really smart yesterday, they would have just short notice called off, had a small press interaction over there, and would have said, you know what, we're sorry, we would have loved to have handed over the trophy to Churchill, but CAS stipulates us not to do it, to wait for the final judgment, and then to do it, whoever deserves it. And therefore, by the way, Aman Singh from Momasu has got offer from Uruguayan third division club CST Cooper. I've read it, not heard anything about it so far. And then Sterling answers such that everyone seems to be putting out transfer rumors with no basis whatsoever. Yeah, but again, this Amandeep, I can try and find out. Let me see. So let's what happened. Semi-final predictions. Sterling, as I've gone through this tournament, to make predictions very, very difficult, because whenever you think a team is doing well and looks to be good, then suddenly they start to lose. So therefore, What do you think of the draw U20 Women AFC Asian Cup 2026, not champions, qualifier sort of? A good one, because we got by far the weakest team in Group 1 in Pot 1, which was Myanmar. So from that perspective, could be doable. So let's see if our women's under 20s are better than the older players or the younger ones. I think a lot of people in Indian footy think stuff so emotionally, like I would like to see things in a realistic way. If someone is not good, I think the next step is to get him out of the system. Renal, I think you mentioned something which I feel is a huge problem. Yes, on one side, emotionally, yes, with passion and all that stuff. But what I have said, repeated multiple times now, that you should look at it from a knowledge perspective, from an understanding perspective. And if you don't have the knowledge and understanding across the board, it's not just at the top level to say, you know what, that's the only way forward for Indian football. Tomorrow, Supreme Court will continue discussion on the AIFF draft constitution. Sort of, they've been doing this, so let's wait and see if and when something will come out. How is the handball project shaping up? Ishan, so far so good to say. Working on a few things. As said, there's an announcement imminent, so let's see when that announcement will be made. Will Churchill Brothers face sanctions for the social media posts? It could be put as into the part of the case in regard to building a narrative, but yeah, let's wait and see. I don't think that the social media posts are going to be the key factors. For other people, again, when we go to the FIFA ethics committee, that's different. That these posts could really hurt. Not only these kind of posts could hurt these people. How big is handball globally, sir? How many countries play it seriously? I would say most of Europe plays it seriously. So we already have 25, 30 countries who take it seriously. As I've mentioned in the past, Brazil is quite a good handball playing nation. Upcoming nation rather. The US can be said about the same. South Korea has had a world-class player once in the past. Japan has had something. Iran is there, Qatar is there, so you've got some parts of Asia. North Africa are decent countries as well. So 40 plus countries, I would say. Pretty sure Churchill Brothers pressurized and bullied AIFF as usual for the trophy. That is something which seems to have been the case if you look at what Satya said as the secretary of the AIFF yesterday post the handover. So sounds like it. I'm not sure if it is the case, but it seems like it's something. Yeah, it is something one else has to see. There is a strong goal lobby in AIFF. Yeah, Zoravar. If you look at it, people always talk about the Bengal lobby, that the Bengal lobby is very, very strong. And then I'll have to tell you, it is not about the lobby of a specific state or, so at the moment it looks like it, but I don't think it's Goa as a state has a strong lobby in the AIFF. I think Churchill Brothers with Valanka being there and, trying to influence, and let's see. Northeast United FC kya hoga? Samit, they have to rebuild. They've built it to a certain level. And let's see, Juan Pedro Benali, next season counts. I think next season, even though, of course, they won the Duran Cup, but I think losing twice in the sort of, let's call it quarterfinals of these respective tournaments to Jamshedpur, I think they will not be happy. So let's see. The best performing sports body in India today is Basketball Federation of India. Zoravar, are they? Because you're saying because the national teams are successful, right? They still don't have a functional league. So therefore, only then we can say that the Basketball Federation is the best performing body. I don't even know, if you look at global parameters, are there any strong, good performing sporting bodies in India? The real concern is, will AIFF face sanctions? Ishan, financial penalties, I think, is now a given after what they did yesterday. So I think that part of the conversation is done. It's now a question of what's the next step, what could happen, and I think that's the danger for the AIFF, and we'll have to wait and see what the next steps are. Is there any power cut in your country? Reduce power cut across Europe? Murali, no, because if there was a power cut, I wouldn't be able to do this live, right? If there was a power cut in Germany, I would be conserving energy and I wouldn't be using it. Sorry, as much as I like to have these discussions with you guys, but if there was a major power cut in Germany, then I would not be doing this live. From what I know, what I've heard, even from friends, is that it is mainly Spain. Spain has been affected. And because of the grid being intertwined, it has had massive effects in Portugal, because those two on the Iberian Peninsula are directly interconnected. some effect in France, and supposedly it's gone even up to Belgium and the Netherlands. But in Germany, as far as I know, at this moment, there's been no effect so far. SB Sports Extremes writes, mockery of Indian football and lame excuses by officials of AIFF after stay order of CAS. When is the Supreme Court giving the final verdict of Indian football constitution? Can't understand why is the delay. Those two SB Sports Extremes are not interconnected. Let's put it this way. On the CAS order, it's not even lame. It's just disgraceful. And it's just disgraceful. And and again, and the Supreme Court again, to me, so therefore, on the Constitution. Again, people are trying to tell me that. I've even seen it. I saw a tweet from Marcus today, right, where he said that FIFA has been involved in the new constitution. And I asked actually some people, and they said no, we've not been included. So therefore, I have too many people talking about things in Indian football these days who don't understand. So, yeah. Will Churchill Brothers, Namdhari FC, and AIFF argue separate, or do they go CAS as a team? Sterling, they'll have to argue separately. They are not interconnected, right? They are being asked about, the case independently. How do you think Asia is behind in handball compared to Europe? What about football? They're catching a long way to go. Football, look at the difference between Europe and Asia and football. The gulf is massive, right? And in handball, it's even more to some extent. But handball is such a game that if you have 3-4 decent players, you can actually move into, let's say, not the second, but maybe the third tier of handball, and then you become a candidate to actually play a World Cup. So if India does well in Asia, and that's going to be the plan, if we work on handball to get India to play a handball World Cup in the next 10 years, it's doable. If I have a 10 years plan for Indian football to play the World Cup, it's totally unrealistic. What changes should FC Goa make to the lineup for you? I wouldn't say. Why change? There's no need to make changes. First, damages paid to Steamach and now possible financial penalty, and our cash deprived and this wasted is the last thing we needed. Ishan, I think the Steamach thing, I think, is a thank you to Shaji for extending his contract. I think that is where, that is where Shaji and Kalyan Chaube should be thanked for that, because there was no need. Finally, they changed nearly everything that the old AIFF did. The only thing there where they didn't do a change was to Mr. Steamach, and Mr. Steamach stayed on, right? But otherwise, I would say that's that. And now these are things, again, if you're not, I said it in the video that I did today, right? If you're not able to run the federation, if you're not in a position to understand what to do, not to do, then just please leave. Leave your positions, because then you're not helping the system, and that's the problem. And therefore, to me, these are the points. These are the crucial points. Looking at Indian football, where we need to think about, if you don't have enough money, how do you work within your framework? Because the AIFF also needs to start thinking is, listen, if from the 1st of Jan 2026, I don't get 50 crores from Reliance, how am I going to run the system, right? So that's my concern that I have at this moment. Right, more than 14 minutes already. Just a quick reminder to you guys, if you're liking the conversation that we're having over here, always please click the like, that more people can get involved. We have 6 likes so far, and share it with other people, and that more people can join. We're at 2,518 at this moment. Thank you very much. So let's grow now. Next step is the 3,000 mark. And also look at the short videos. I did a sort of a complex explainer today on the AIFF I-League chaos in Takashi with Churchill Brothers, also trying to explain, with the CAS thing, with what the AIFF did and what the press release does, with the handing over of the trophy and all. So if you want to get a little understanding on that, do watch that video as well. So one clip of Mr. Scooty was giving his diplomatic views on FIFA rules regarding yellow card suspension. Also, according to him, Interkashise can't go to CAS. And again, he has not read the rules and regulations of the I-League. The I-League rules and regulations clearly state that if you've tried to do it within the AIFF system, which is Disciplinary and Appeals Committee, you can go to CAS. You cannot go to a normal court. So if these people even think of going to a normal court, that's a violation. That's a violation in the sense of it could mean trouble, and that is the problem. Are Belgium hyped about the golden generation? I missed two chances. Murali, the golden generation is done in Belgium, right? I mean, who's left? The golden generation is done and they didn't win anything. Are they hyped? No, the Belgians, of course, hope they would win something. Couldn't do anything, no? Country is still getting platforms in various channels. The problem is that these kids aligned themselves to him, gave him a platform, grew through him, not with him, but through him, and now are not finding an exit route. Anyone who's given him a platform is complicit in giving someone like him a platform, right? That's why I don't go on certain platforms. I get invitations from certain platforms. I do not go on them because I do not want to be seen on a platform with these kind of characters who are harming Indian football day in, day out, period. I'd rather speak on my own platform. Whoever wants to like it, come here, talk to me, discuss with me, give yourselves a chance, and then let's see where we go. Will Churchill, we had this Sterling already. Northeast RCC will surely lose Aludin Ajarai as Mumbai City FC Mohammad Superjan will go all out for him. Mohammad Superjan is likely going to offload Petratos, and from the club inner sources, they won't sign any big foreign player this season. So rather that inner sources, again, is something that I like. I love this when I've seen this now in certain tweets from certain people, and certain people have been telling me that. And I've supposedly heard that, they've not even taken the decision on what's the way forward. So how can then people say, and then 3 days or 4 days earlier, people were still talking about Jackson Irvine coming in, right? So therefore, I am very, very careful what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. I think a lot of people is they're watching what is happening at this moment of time in Indian football. So therefore, I'm very, very careful. And if Adadin Ajare is on the market, which I supposedly think he isn't, let's see what happens. Do you think going Indian football, nobody turns the web to... Acha, you mean Tamasha, I think you mean? Yeah, it's a circus. Indian football has become a circus, and let's see what happens. Marcus seems to have shifted neutral because he's saying you can't go against a CAS order and spoke about the possible penalties. Sterling, he also knows what is right, what's wrong. Huh? So, yeah. Scooter Solidarity was complaining that Mohun Bagan should take back their appeal on Anwar case since they are winning national tournaments. Yeah, I think Mohun Bagan should have been the one who last year should have gone to CAS about this case, and then we would have seen how much he would be talking still. Hi, Kumar. Whoever they will get will be one who has ISL experienced players like Javi Hernandez, Connor Shields, and Adaja in the radar. Isn't Connor Shields on the radar of, I think, half of the ISL, supposedly? And even Chennai are trying to keep him. Let's wait and see. Again, yeah. Do you think Japan exceed everyone's expectations in World Cup? They face Croatia best match. No, I don't think they exceeded expectations. Your prediction on the two finalists of UCL, Uchud, I think any one of those four could potentially win it. I would say that, we've got three teams who could play spectacular football in PSG, Arsenal in the one game, Barca, of course, Hansi Flick. I mean, this statistics as that Hansi has never lost a final is just insane. And then you've got Inter, but Inter, of course, suddenly having problems in the Italian league, very weirdly. So we, I would, I think if you want to have fireworks, I think PSG Barca final in Munich. Especially I want Hansi Flick to be in Munich. I think that would be a great one. As per news, 15 acres land will be given to CAB, which is the Cricket Association of Bengal. The land was earlier given to AIFF, but they didn't make the infrastructure they're supposed to give. To do, government chose CAB in Rajahat, Kolkata. But AIFF built its center of excellence. I think is it the AIFF plot? No, I don't. Is it not the plot next to the AIFF land that they're talking about? Do you think Petrato should be released after the season's performance then? He's considered a club legend by many. See, Sterling, club legend here or there. I take the example of Thomas Müller at Bayern Munich, played his final 500th game on Saturday for Bayern, right? And he's a club legend, but he's being released. So therefore, when you realize a player is not giving you what you want, what you need from him, and you could get someone better than him, you have to do it. As much as it might hurt from that perspective of losing that kind of a player, but to me, that is the best thing that Mohun Bagan Supergiant can do if they think that Dini is no longer giving you worth. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. I think some people in AIFF have no shame in publicly lobbying for the legitimate winner of I-League. Yeah, come on, that's the real situation. Mohamed Super is not going to choose Aladdin as Petratus as a kind of similar player. He does not fit the Molina system as it seems. Okay. Any instance you felt kid in Germany complained about pitch and you felt your response on it? Murali, complaining about the pitch happens, everywhere in the world. Any instance you felt toxic and negative moment in your football? Murali, at the moment, where are we in now? Hi, it's me, Renal. It's my mom's account. Okay, hi. I really think India has a lot of passionate people, but these lords are using the poor people for their benefits. Earlier was charging up, but no, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. What a downfall for Hornby. 2 years back, he was considered a national team defender. Now, according to rumors, he's going to join East Bengal. So, Rava, isn't that the problem? That Hornby, a lot of talent on the way to the national team, but again, don't we have this problem with a lot of these players who, after a good season, we think, okay, take the next step, move up, and then suddenly you see, he stays and then he drops. I still remember how Thibaut called out the French national team as cowards during being too defensive after 1-goal lead, where Umtiti probably doing FIFA World Cups and final. Yeah, but that doesn't matter, no? It's about winning at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's about winning at the end of the day. They portray like some god, but reality is that most of them doesn't really understand anything. Shaji couldn't even run a daily affair. Yeah. Drennan. What led to this downfall of Homewood despite getting regular game time in Kerala versus Sea? What led to it, I cannot tell you, because for that I would have to be part of the Kerala Blasters camp, would have to see the boy every day and out. To me, what I feel as an outsider is his performance levels have dropped, right? Now you've brought in Bikash Yumna. Let's see how he does, because he was very consistent at Chennai. And Homipam sometimes playing centre back, sometimes side back. Yeah, I don't know. Is Amandeep Singh rumored to third division side CSD Cooper from Uruguay? True. Banjab, I will have to check. I've not heard anything so far, but I'll surely check. Is Connor Shields overrated? Sterling, no, I don't think so. I think if I look at some of these teams and their foreign setups, I take Jamshedpur as an example, Chennai as an example. The foreign lot has been good, right? I mean, Chennai actually has a good, foreign lot, and the most impressive of them all is Connor Shields in the way, especially this season, he's been all over the place. He and Ryan Edwards were the key players. So let's see if he stays or, if he goes. Do you think Uruguay third division move be by the way of any good? Angry Birds, if a player who's not even a regular in the ISL gets a chance to play in the third division of Uruguay, I would always say go and try, because that's going to be a level which for Amandeep will be higher than what he's playing at the moment. Much higher, let's put it this way, starting with the training, right? He's going to be training at a level, and then, let's see if he makes it. Japan didn't really exceed others' expectations. The problem is people just didn't really try to follow them as much as other top nations. On the other side, Japan fans did expect good. Yeah, Prithviraj, that's a very very good explanation. Liverpool's re-emergence in EPL over the last 10 years has been a nice thing, in my opinion. Otherwise, it was becoming a two-horse race. Your thoughts? A two-horse race? Wasn't it a one-horse race with Man City? I mean, Man City is the one. I think it's a one-horse race where, in once in a while, Liverpool or Chelsea or have won it. Do you think Diego Mercier should be released after the season performance of 9 goals and 5 assists? And he's also considered a club legend by many OFC fans, but he's getting old. I think that the question is, what does Odisha want to do? What does either Serge Lobera, or if there's another coach coming, what does that coach want? Diego Mercier is still impactful, but had injury problems as well. So it depends on the overall strategy of the club. Bye, Kumar. I feel like the whole Indian football ecosystem always has been toxic. No, Aditya, the Indian football system might have not been the best. I think the toxicity has been brought in, to be very honest, especially by social media. Right? As much as on one side, social media is good because you can stay informed on things. Of course, there are rumors which go around. But if you look at what kind of wrong information has been passed on in this while, in the recent past, I think that's going to be the question that I would ask and say, and to me, that's a big thing, right? Although there have been questions of Moriyasu's tactics and decision national team squad in the other tournaments. Prithviraj, yes, especially in the Asian Cup. I think there were questions. Let's see. What went wrong with Rahim Ali? Aditya, what went wrong? Like with many Indian strikers, not getting the goals, not scoring enough, and not being able to get the goals that you need as a striker. Is Holichar Nazari nursing a long-term injury? Another example was declined over the years. No, as far as I know, no. He's been training with BFC, but it seems like the coach, Jessel Canero is another one. They've been getting very little to no time this season. I have a strong feeling that Jamshedpur FC is definitely taking this to Asia. Enough, let's wait and see. I've gotten rumors that the Churchill brothers are thick as a rock to the statement that they need to return of the trophy. Okay, Aditya, good for you. Do you think ignorance is the first enemy for the player and second fake motivation and leadership speech made them scapegoat? Can be, doesn't have to be. Maybe Indian players, after a season of success, they get too comfortable securing the position in a team. This is not only Homi, but even many other young players. Yeah, especially when you have a breakthrough. Huh? Khalid has experience of doing a league double on Goa, FC Goa and Mumbai City FC, even with 4 foreigners. How do you see the finals? Sometimes more, but no way going to win this. Aditya, any one of the 4 teams can win it. And the point to me is, again, Mohun Bagan has showed what they can. FC Goa, great comeback. But again, it is those 90 minutes. I saw some Mohun Bagan fans today comparing when Mumbai City played with an all-Indian side a few years ago under Des. And that comparison doesn't work because it wasn't a clean knockout. A clean knockout is easier than a group stage come knockout. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. But to me, any one of those 4 teams can win it. I have no energy after such a horrific thing happened in national, and as an army man and a football fan, it's hard to have mental balance nowadays, hoping for stable thing future. Satyam, the reality of the world is today that these kind of things sadly happen. One should not forget the people who have died or who've been injured. One should not forget the people who have helped others in these difficult circumstances. And as a football fan, yeah, again, a lot of people celebrated, a lot of people for a lot of things. This is the outcome. I'm pretty sure he won't leave Mohun Bagan given some excuse that's his family home, and then he refuses to leave. I hope you people are clear what's going to happen in future. Okay. Even a big Indian football YouTuber, Dhanraj and Zishan, also made a video on how U17 Nigeria and many African nations are killing it, but it sometimes makes you hopeless how you learn to dream is hard. Okay, I don't know what videos these guys made. Nothing went wrong with Ryan Malley. He was always overrated. I don't think, Zoravar. I think I've seen him at youth level. I don't think he's overrated. I think, yeah, like many, yeah, that he's not made the cut. That's, I think, the biggest problem for him. How do you see Rudiger reaction towards referee? Morally unacceptable. I think that is unacceptable, especially from someone who's not just a player, he's a national team player, he's a senior player. And therefore, to me, yeah, this is just I can't do that. You just can't do that. It's not the first time that he's done something, and I feel the reaction from the German FA so far has been poor. And yeah, let's see. FIFA ban on AIFF. I don't know if it could happen. I don't know. So we blame social media for toxicity in Indian football. Come on, Aditya, yes. I think that a lot of toxicity has come in because if I look at way back 20 years, people, not much happened, but things were alive, and a lot of people now misuse social media for their own gains to spread things. And is it right? Is it wrong? That's always the discussion that we can have. But to me, this is the biggest problem at the moment with social media. Social media. So therefore, for me, it is a problem. Period. Homipom was good even till last season. This season, he was switched on and off, and he was making too many mistakes as a fullback and covering every time Sandeep Ivan took a toll on him. Yeah, but not only covering them, even he did his own mistakes, conceding goals. It's generally, I think, with the Kerala Blasters, I think a lot of players. Talent is never a problem. We ever see any. One of the problem is always how we train and groom them. Like us, we have a camp of U15 certain team every year. Have a camp of 60 days in Europe. Have a camp of. Certain talent is the problem. And I tell that again, anyone who tells me, oh, India's got talent, I've not seen it, right? So for me, the problem is if I talk about Indian talent, the best talent that I've seen, for me, who stands out again and again, I will repeat this, is IM Vijayan. IM Vijayan for me stands out as the best player that I have seen, technically, as an Indian footballer. And if you talk about the last 10, 12 years, then I would say Lalinzola Changte. But after that, I mean, sorry, we have a problem. And doing camps abroad is nice. I don't know where the 60 days comes from because I don't think it is 60 days. Again, guys, be careful with your sources. And we've done camps in Europe, right? I mean, the Indian under-17s before the under-17 World Cup spent 3 months in Germany. So we're talking about 90 days. So therefore, yeah. Is it true that Amandeep should go to UK? But I'm surprised that he was third division once Indian player from ISL bench. He didn't get that much chance. Either Dipito was first backup, he was second. Blue, I think it is not about, again, this if it happens, and if it's true, then it's going to be, individuals, it's like the Bijay Chetri case that someone tried to put him there, and it's not because the Uruguayans scouted him. Amandeep contract expiring 2 months prior, Murphy said that he was most probably not in Oman. Superjan long-term plan due to approach of them towards Naurem. Okay. Naurem Roshan, I guess I'm with words. I'm happy that U7 gets games south in India, Northeast home. India sends some games and hope we'll make them some trips to Europe. I know funds are issue, but without a football can't develop. Satyam, there are no European tours planned at the moment. Let's not compare ourselves with Uzbekistan with Tajikistan, a dictator-running country. Somehow their club defeated our so-called 100-year-old legacy clubs. I bet they can even defeat our nation. Okay, I think you're talking about Turkmenistan, Aditya. What Mumbai CTFC did, Mohun Bagan can never replicate it. However, sad Mumbai CTFC lost so many fans after a little bad season. It shows how much empty it was performance school. And Aditya, I said this. It's a general problem, right? It's a general problem. Mohun Bagan club president resigned today. Okay. I would say getting at least one World Class stadium in Kerala, Kolkata should be there with many experts also said. Spending 100 crore on Argentina team was to spend that on stadium. Satyam, Kolkata has a World Cup hosting stadium in the Salt Lake Stadium, so therefore that is not the problem. Kerala could do, most probably. But yeah, the Argentina thing. Let's see if it happens. I've had my doubts. I still have my doubts. So that's the thing. Was there any protest in Germany by Indian and Pakistan community? Hannibal, I haven't heard anything. Hi, Methamphetamine. Do you see the Indian 20 women's daughter? Yes, hopeful much. Yeah, we were lucky because we are not, drawn against one of the biggies of Asia, so Myanmar. So therefore, yeah. We were bad 20 years ago. Now we're still bad after 20 years. Nothing has changed on that. Aditya, I don't think so. And were you there 20 years ago to be able to judge it? So therefore, I think you're not in a position to make that judgment. I think there was a lot of hope 20 years ago. A lot of things were happening. A lot of things were changing. And you don't have that. Now everything is sort of sorted and we're walking backwards, right? That's the reality. Rudiger published an unconditional apology, most probably, but yes, he does seem volatile regularly. That apology, if whoever advises him in media matters, I would have said, do a video, because it, bring a little bit of motion in, but yeah. So therefore, yeah. To me, it doesn't make sense. It should be, Nishu says, in my opinion, Changte can play outside of ISL. He has that quality. He's a consistent player. He can play in A-League, Thai League, etc. Thai clubs are doing really good at the Asian level. Nishu, as someone, I organized him with friends a trial at Viking Stavanger 2019. Because I believed, and I still believe that he's one of our few players who can sort of go abroad and achieve something. And I still believe that. But can he go abroad in those leagues? Again, I don't think they will take an Indian footballer. So therefore, the question of him going over there doesn't arise. Assam Football Association said they're planning to get big teams in Assam to play friendlies via SSH, spending money on getting match in state and that money on developing stadium. Satyam, the Assam FA doesn't build or develop stadiums. That is done by the state governments or even by the municipalities. Knockouts Changte is back. Ooh, crazy. Yash. Yeah, looks like it at the moment. Last two games, critical goals, especially yesterday, that goal against Inter Kashi was class. Also, Jorge Ortiz putting in the shift. So it looks like, that Mumbai City is trying to fight. And let's see, Jamshedpur, there are a few things to clear with them. So let's see what Mumbai City can do. Changte can definitely play in Bangladesh Premier League, says Hannibal. Prithviraj says, I was blocked by Blue Pilgrims in 2022 on Twitter before the FIFA ban on saying how to give voice and backing people like Bajaj. We're just inviting a ban and then the 17 will not get to play. Blue Pilgrims also. See, guys, as much as I have respect on one side for the Blue Pilgrims, but it doesn't mean that they will always stand up for the right thing for Indian football. Sorry to say that. And it needs to be called out, and that's something which it doesn't matter who it is, and we have to do that, right? So talent is there, but training in Europe makes the talent confident groom. We have to play with this Indian talent only. Therefore, training from Europe nations only solution, nothing else. Satyam, I am the one. Now I'll be very, very arrogant. All these people talk about what they've done for Indian football. I'm the one who's enabled Indian youth teams to come and train in Germany. other parts as well, right? So what you're saying, I've done, right? But I am telling you that we don't have the talent at the moment. At least I have not seen the talent in the last few years, right? And I am telling you that our talent needs to be better if you want to compete in Asia. Forget the world, right? Please understand that, right? The training in Europe will make them better, yes, but the training in Europe will take them here, but your training in Europe will not take them there, right? That is your problem. That is what you have to understand. If you like it or not, that's the reality of where we are in Indian football. Where is Mark Flecken? Zoravar, I think he's still at Brentford, no? The one thing I would still say Bengal IFA is one who is pulling back India as a whole. Angry Birds, the IFA has its weaknesses and all, but is a state FA, be it the IFA, be it, I don't know, Goa, be it Maharashtra, this, that, everything, are they pulling back Indian football? No, I wouldn't say that, right? But they are part of the problem, right? Getting a proper football stadium like Barca Madrid, I'm not comparing, but a proper football stadium, talking multi-sport stadium, it could, but at least one proper football stadium in Kerala, Kolkata. Satyam, that's not happening. That's just this nice idea, but it's not happening in those states, right? Because they will have to take care of other sports. Not happening. Harsh question, but do you think India has missed the bus of football success this year is reaching anywhere in your lifetime? Ishan, have we missed the bus? I think we've missed the bus so many times in my lifetime in Indian football. I still hope we will reach anywhere, somewhere during my lifetime, but I don't know. I would hope yes, but if you ask me, I can't tell you that. I find Real Madrid players in general are too arrogant, especially towards ref. Blue, it starts with their president. It starts with Florentino Perez. It continues with the players. It goes down to the staff. I think I would take Carlo Ancelotti maybe out of this discussion, but Real Madrid's behavior in the recent past has been, So, yeah. Getting a proper stadium in 80 IQ in Manat country is a recipe for disaster. That's also a problem. Mehta most likely to move to Mohammad Supergiant Mumbai. City management is so dumb, man. They are not extending our most important player at the start or mid the season. We let up for a group because we waited till end. Crazy Yash, financial, very simple. Right? You might think they're dumb or whatever, but sometimes you have to look at the numbers. And if you look at the numbers, it didn't make sense to extend Apuya. So don't take my converse, but saying that I have not seen a talent other than Chankte is cooked. Mahesh, David, Sangha, Ayush, Valpuya, all are not good. Satyam, none of the players that you mentioned are even close to Chankte. None of them. None of them. They're not talents in that way. They're talents for Indian standard. They're not talents for a higher level. How come East Bengal has so much 4 worst seasons and still have fans coming to the stadiums? Aditya, you are comparing something which has been there for 100 plus years and other things which have been built over the last 11 years, right? And even for Kolkata standards, East Bengal, with all the failures that they have, I always say that East Bengal won't should be filling the Salt Lake Stadium with 66,000 week in, week out with the legacy they have. So these comparisons won't work. Were there scouts doing exposure tours of India, like in Germany, for example, any player that you know of who caught that eye? No. Ishan, there have been scouts watching, but nobody caught the eye of anybody on those recent tours, no. When I say Bengal IFA pulling back football, people shout at me, Bengalis as usual. Yeah, Aditya, but again, nice to say that, but is it? Yeah. What do you make of AFC having centralized venue for AFC Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final, final? It favors Saudi teams massively. Shomo, it is a question. It was a question from the AFC in regard to costings, and regard to profitability, and in regard to having it like a final 8 sort of as a tournament. And does it favor the Saudis? Yeah, most probably it does in some form way. But again, it's a logistical thing. Angry Birds, when you talk about Bengal IFA, wait till you see FIFA Most people working there probably don't even know how football is played. Yeah. Which club do you think Orinda will have its first stadium owned by the club itself? Jamshedpur FC have one, no? Jamshedpur FC, the JRD Tata Sports Complex or the JRD Tata Sports Complex and the JRD Tata Stadium is owned by the Tata, so they have a stadium. So I think I want one thing to see. Many Indian football ex-players said that India was ruling football nights towards Bengali players nowadays. Even Mohun East Bengal can't give 3 Bengali players. Satyam, we were not ruling any football in the 1960s, right? So that's the thing. Why these people have so much obsession with football-specific stadiums? There are many top nations who don't have one and are doing well. Yeah, Mithab, I mean, that's the problem, right? Wait, Mithab joining Mohun Super Giant. So that's a rumor. So, yeah. So yes, I don't think he is, but again, let's see. Hi, Roshan. Does Manisha Taylor has Indian roots? Yes, she does. Taylor with an I. Roshan, great to see her getting jobs. So yes, met her last year actually at QPR. So Manisha was at QPR for a long time. Spent the last few months at Tottenham, and now has gone to Singapore for football development. Yes. Can you talk about footballer Angel Torres? No. What can I talk about him? Sorry, no. Arunda, what's the point of City Football Group owning us if we can't retain our most important Indian player and our academy is trash too when City Academy is so good? One class is still employed. Crazy Yash. Yeah, good question. But City Football Group own it. Are City Football Group running Mumbai City? That is the question you should ask. Punjab FC, Interkashi, Real Kashmir FC and I-League making the I-League so interesting, getting them in ISL, make the ISL more interesting. We should get at least 20 teams in ISL, more clubs in ISL. Satyam, again, wrong approach. What has the growth of these teams brought to the ISL? Are more people watching the ISL because of that? No. It's a theoretical thing to say, let's grow. It will give us something. So therefore, for me, we should actually get down to 10 teams rather than talk about having 20 teams in the ISL. How are clubs of ISL reacting to the uncertainty regarding the renewal of MRA between AIFF and FSDL? What are they even planning for? We may not have ISL next season. Ishan, I think a lot of people are just doing their work and hoping that it doesn't happen. And this is the other problem, right? I mentioned this in my video 2 days ago. AIFF and Reliance, will they be able to agree on a new MRA? Where I say a lot of people working in the ISL don't want to believe it. I had a lot of conversations last month when I was down in India and had a conversation about it. So therefore, they don't want to believe the situation. Mehta joining will be huge. Mohun Bagan Super Giant desperately needs an Indian centre back. Yeah, but does it make sense for him? I don't know. I honestly don't know if it makes sense for him if Mohun Bagan still have the option of actually playing two foreign centre backs. I want to see India U17 should get a camp or foreign tour of at least foreign any nation. I'm not saying Europe, it can Latin or Russia, but Australia, but playing with the national intercontinental should be there. Satyam, that's not happening at this moment in time. It needs people to help them. No? 3 out of 4 teams in the AFC Champions League, not ship elite, are Saudi clubs. Ekana Arena in Gujarat look good. I guess the only football-centric stadium in India. Prithviraj, it's not a football-centric stadium because it's a multi-purpose venue. I think if I'm not wrong, it's been used for Pro Kabaddi as well and other sports. So it's not a football-specific stadium. But football-centric, yeah, you could name it that way. But when and the other one, of course, is the Mumbai Football Arena. But when land is such a precious resource to invest in sports, the government has to consider other sports. So a demand for football-only stadium is not feasible for the local administrations. Yeah, that's also very right. The Kalinga Stadium is benefiting Sports Odisha greatly because it's multi-sports venue. Yeah. Do you think David Lalsanga is a proper striker and be good as Sunil is good as a striker? But I always say one thing: Irfan in 7 is always above. I want to see Irfan David against Thailand. Satyam, no. Aditya, if you think performance equates attendance, you don't understand football club significance like it's seen people's, especially from culture point of view, look at lower division German clubs. Yeah, very well said, Madam Fanny. Def Trehan, sorry, is one of the most recognized Indian origin football journalists or writers abroad. What does he think of Indian football, sir? Nishan, what does Dev want to think? Yeah, and he understands the problems that is. Even Manolo said ISL should have 20 teams. Is he wrong? Is wrong? So yes, he is. Manolo is a coach. Don't ask these questions to coaches. Ask it to people who understand football. Those who understand. And in India, we don't have many people who understand football. That's the whole problem. That's what I'm saying. No? If we want to move forward, we have to ask the right questions. We're not doing that in Indian football. We are carried away by these things. Oh, you know what? We need to copy what these guys do. Oh, we need to copy what those guys do. No, we need to evolve our own football ecosystem, and that's a huge challenge at the moment. Why Indians who go outside do better and become great CEOs and so much, etc., but we never see Indians like them inside India. Why? I know it's not a football-related question, but since you're in you care more about Indian football than inside India. No idea. Honestly, interesting questions in that, or interesting question in that way. But I have no idea why that is the case. Most probably, yeah, the surroundings, the way that you can develop, evolve is better in that part of the world than it is in India. This surrounding, they have Babu who ate, yes, sir, on other than making India football develop. Says Satyam, Babu Raj says Aditya. Getting Indian centre back will allow more to field an additional foreign attacking half, especially in the midfield position. One Bagan struggled this season. Yeah. Cooperage ground would have been so ground from the city. You see, though. Debu, no, it's not because of its location. In South Mumbai, the Mumbai Football Arena has been a better venue than Cooperage. Indian origin women have so much quality. They play for top clubs, Man United, Chelsea, etc. They think it was allowed Indian women can win the FIFA World Cup. However, win the FIFA Women's World Cup, you're going too far. For us, I think the first question is if the OCIs join us, qualify for a World Cup. I'm not to some benefit, but before 2100, want to see World Cup from India having fame like European clubs. It's a wish. Okay, Satyam. Somehow, if we scam 1-0 win in semi-finals and final, I think we could bring back Des Buckingham for AFC Challenge League. Right now, ACL2 is the one goal we can have for signing good players. Let's see what happens. Again, at the moment, anything is possible. If we have 20 teams, we can have more and more Indian players playing in ISL. Satyam, but that is not the point. If you have more and more Indian players, that means do you think the quality of the league improves or the quality of the league goes down? That's my question. Do Bengalis really care about someone calling IFA anything? I don't think most care. Yeah, nobody cares. Very right, Blue. Why do you think Indian clubs haven't been able to build local connection? I don't mean top division clubs, only even fourth, fifth tier clubs supported by locals in Europe because of local connect, right? That's a good question, Ishan. Why haven't they? Because they never care about the local connect. No? They are just an entity which plays football for the sake of playing football. They don't care about that community. Community work is something which in India is not valued, and that showcases itself, for example, in football, right, and or in any sport. Can AIFF come up with some mechanism to bring overinflated market in India to a sustainable model for clubs? No, it's on the clubs. It's not on the AIFF. It's the clubs, it's the ISL who have to do that. That's not the job of the AIFF to regulate the financial market of the Indian football clubs. Well, our first mistake is making Manolo a national team coach. He doesn't even have international coaching experience. Even Habas has international coaching experience. Okay, Aditya. However, you worked for Mumbai City FC back then and you live in Germany, right? Would you ever join Mumbai City again, maybe scout German players for us in future. Crazy Yash. Yes, I set up Mumbai City FC in 2014, to be very, very right. And I live and work in Germany. Yeah, that's very, very true. Would I join Mumbai City FC again? Yes, why not? It's I still love the club. And scout, I brought a German player in 2014 in Manuel Friedrich, the first German player in the ISL. So yeah, of course I would look at German players to potentially play in us. Has Cooperage gone back to natural turf? No. No, it's not. It's still an artificial turf ground. Watched my idol Ranjit Bajaj interview. Okay, if your Ranjit Bajaj is your idol, Satyam, end of conversation. Right? That means sorry, you don't understand anything in Indian football, right? He said his academy gives the players to European levels and training Indian talent does not lie. Of course he's lying. Who is the European level footballer he's produced? Not even forget European level, forget Asian level, forget even Indian level. Has he produced a Sunil Shetty? Has he produced a Baichung Bhutia? Has he produced an Am Vijan? Has he produced a Lalin Zola Changte? No. He's produced crap. Right? That's the standard that he's produced. How can Indian clubs make connection with their vast states? I don't see Odisha FC outside of Pune. I know we have NGOs and stuff working on grassroots, but still it looks very less. Aditya, it's step 1, step 2, step 3. I think Odisha FC, all these clubs who have state names have to first work in a small fence, so to say, small surroundings, and then slowly build and grow. Do you think Gopit will be called up or Manolo will persist with Trishal and Amrinder? No clue. No clue, Achut, what Manolo is going to do. Yeah. But let's see what he does. What's your take on this? Number of foreigners should be increased and also take the FA competitions quality football into consideration. No, Devu, we have to consider our own football and not Asian competition. It is for the respective clubs. So therefore, for me, I think the current rule is fine because it gives enough exposure. Even increasing it to 5 makes it a problem because then your spine even more becomes foreign. Even one club coach, I don't know which club, said that it's not his job to develop Indian football talents. His job is to take best 11. It's club job. What's our clubs doing? Satyam, he's right, and that was Katala, the new coach of Kerala Blasters. Other coaches have said that as well. That's their job. That's their job. Their job is not to produce players. Whatever they say, what the club say. Satyam, change your idol ASAP, says Aditya. Yes, ASAP. In Kolkata, many clubs are locally based by names, but their tents are in Maidan area in West Kolkata. Never seen locals rooting for those clubs. Achut, and that's, I think, the biggest problem, that despite having a football culture, especially on the Kolkata Maidans, the clubs in Kolkata have not been able to actually build themselves in the local communities, right? A lot of Howrah-based clubs are based on the Calcutta Maidan. So they are actually on the other side of the Ganges, right, of the Hooghly. So that's a problem. Please hammer some sense into our management and tell them to sign good players, not injury merchants. Crazy Yash, as much as I do these people, but I'm not someone to tell, what to do, not to do. Again, I have thoughts, and I've said this, articulated them on this channel a few times, but it is for the management to figure out things. And and of course, get the players to peak at the right time. It is sad to see that Hitesh Sharma suddenly seems to have understood what he can do, right? Right, nearly an hour in this live. If you haven't, do share the content as well. 15 likes so far. Thank you very much. And if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed so far, or coming back regularly, seems like that's the parts of the stat that I'm getting in the back end. That 30-40% of people who watch these lives are actually not subscribers. So please subscribe. We're at 2,519. Let's grow the community. Therefore, it's something that there is. And Do watch the short videos that I make or try to make on a regular basis. Did something today on the Inter-Kashi chaos and and this whole AIFF I-League chaos regarding Inter-Kashi and Jetro Brothers. Yesterday did something on the postponed SAF Cup, AIFF Reliance before that, and all these other things. Do watch these videos, and thank you as always for your support. They're a perfect example of the match against Bangalore FC in the ISL Cup final. Bangalore FC went with an entire backline, feeding 4 attacking foreigners, allowing them to dominate midfield of Mohun Bagan. Yeah, it helps. It helps, but for BFC, that 4-man Indian backline has also backfired in the past, right? Good night, methamphetamine. Catch you again. What jersey are you wearing today? Can't see the logos of the comments. That of the handball club Eintracht Hagen, which my friend and colleague Finn Holpert manages. So yeah, was there on Friday, watched the game, won again. So yeah, very good. There are very less Indian players who are capable of playing in ISL. Yeah, and at the moment it seems like it. Yeah, that's a problem. Hi Akash, welcome back. Do you think Peak Changte was good enough for League One? I think Peak Changte would have gone outside of India, gotten some experience, and then maybe gone to League One, and then maybe we can talk about if Changte was good enough to be playing in, so for me, if, for example, if he had gone, let's say, to Viking Stavanger, played a year or two, who knows? League One, I think, could have been possible. Babu culture in Indian football is eating us. I've seen so many Babu in state association also eating biscuits with tea in ground and with big fat tummy, nothing else. We need passionate people in state federation. Yeah, yeah. Is Bangalore FC reaching AFC Cup a bigger achievement than Mumbai FC winning a match in AFC Champions League? Difficult to compare, because I would have said the standards in the Champions League are higher. So, I mean, BFC's achievement is huge. But if you ask me, if I look at the situation, also it was COVID. You didn't play any matches at home. I would rate Mumbai City's achievement. So therefore, yeah, I'd say Mumbai City FC, and I'm trying to be not biased. But that reflects Anwar Ali and Vikram Pratap. Vikram is not ever product, is he? He's the Chandigarh Football Academy product. He played a season in their academy. So therefore, even saying that would be wrong. And Anwar Ali, again, I've never believed the hype. To me, for Indian standards, a very good defender, no doubt about it. But Anwar Ali, to me, since Mumbai City said he shouldn't be playing due to his heart ailment, I would have said, yeah, maybe 6 to 8 foreigner signings. It just increases the budget of the teams. Does it increase? Then you would have to say at least 5 playing or something. So yeah. In India, the problem is people don't want to wait and they need results right away. Even the AI DeepSeek needs 10 years of investment, and here people interest give only 2 years. It's same in football. Yeah. Yeah. This is the problem. Do you see any clubs producing decent, if not good players? No. Forget clubs, academies, we don't. Even if Mohun Bagan or Katala say that they need to bring best foreigners and players instead of developing local talent, let me ask what's wrong in that. Not to mention these clubs also have youth development. It's nothing wrong, Aditya. It's nothing wrong. It's, to me, I would tell, forget Katala. Katala as a coach is a different thing. I would tell to Mr. Goenka is that if I look at the money you're spending, you can get the same players most probably at 2/3 the money that you're spending. You would most probably sign these players, right? But to me, the problem here is very simple. That the situation as it stands, yeah, that you need to develop your local players and make better. I don't know why you people are jealous of him. Ranjit Sir Academy is giving players are training for foreign trips. What are you talking about? You players in why is spreading hate? It's not hate. I'm not. No one is hating him or jealous of him? He spread lies. Satyam, please, right? And he doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He got us banned by FIFA. What are you talking about? You know. So please, understand that all these things he's giving nothing to Indian football. He's taking from Indian football. Mumbai City fans need to stop crying. You guys have just one bad season. But Aditya, yes, one bad season, people might say. But on the other side, I would say that this shows the level that Mumbai City has created for itself, which I like. We've created a level at Mumbai City, and the fans want to live to that city level. Let's see, even if we can at least get to the final of the Super Cup, maybe even win it. So let's see. Lack of local stadiums in Kolkata is a big problem. Kalighat, Toliganj, Kidipur, Sribhumi, many more. They don't play at their own arena. How can locals feel connected? Gone are those days. Akash, it doesn't matter if your ground is as such local, right? And Toliganj theoretically not locally, but at least could play at if the Rubinder Shorobor, so therefore that is that, and the others is a little bit more difficult. Even Kalighat could play at that venue. To me, is that the clubs are based on the Maidans. That's the biggest problem. That most of these clubs, not Toliganj, but most of these other clubs are based on the Kolkata Maidans, and therefore they don't have a local connect to their locality. Sir, please listen to Ranjit's streams. He told that he's preparing next Indian talents. Why we're killing on people hope he, sir, is passionate. Satyam, he's not preparing anything. And please don't come with this, because it makes me annoyed, because this is total rubbish. Total rubbish. He's done nothing. And if you believe that, sorry, listen to the videos of the last 3-4 months. Arunda, you're a German, but I sometimes feel you are ethnically Bengali. Am I wrong or right? No, I am Bengali. Ethnically, my parents are from Kolkata. Even Jyotish Roy, a billionaire from Kolkata, owns 3 billion net worth. One of my fans owns 2% of Bagan, said that Kolkata means a proper football state is having such a big Bengal fan base. Yeah, and let him say that. What does he know? He's a billionaire. Great. He has that net worth. Does he understand football? No, he doesn't have a clue. Talking about football culture, don't you think ISL killed Goan football clubs with sideline traditional Goan clubs? Nikhil, what football culture did these Goan clubs have? Right? They talk about legacy. I have gone to matches of a certain Salgalka football club with nine paying fans. So they didn't, and they had these Goan clubs had their chance in 2012. The Kolkata clubs had their chance in 2012 when Reliance was talking to them to try and make the I League into the ISL. They didn't want it. So therefore, I don't know where the football culture with these clubs is, because it is either around a corporate or around a family. These are not, clubs who have a fabric like a Mohun Bagan in East Bengal or a Mohammedan Sporting. Pia advert for Navo. He's doing this out of love for Indian football. No money goes into his pockets. We need people like him. But alas, the world is changing fast. Thanks, Achut. Yeah. There are a few idiots like me, I would say, who do this for the right reasons. Most people try and do this to fill their own pockets, and that's a reality. Sad reality, but that's the reality. Dylan Markin is cooking in EFL League One. Andre Nakshimkant is cooking in Liga Pro in Portugal. Yeah, so there are some very talented Indian players out there. Satyam Bhai, Arunda has talked with Ranji Bajaj, and even there, when you add along with other, we've got Indian football banned, and even shouted Arunda for stopping them. Yeah, Aditya, what is it? Yeah, it's just thanks for the support as always. Not for everyone. Yeah, I think Kapsu's fan base are big, even in Asia. Like Kerala Simo Sujan, East Bengal, Bengal City should have one proper football stadium, not all, at least in football, option culture state like that. So they're not happening. How many times do we have to explain to you that's not happening? It's not going to happen. Come to reality. I don't know where you're dreaming. Come to the real world, right? Physique of Alberto Tom are necessary for our defenders. Even Connor Chukwu as well with Luca. My cousin asked me why our players are potato on sticks. Yeah, valid question. I think talked with passion enough and football fan. He is a short answer that he's a crook. Come on, guys. Don't mix personal relatives with professional. He's helping Indian football. Where is he helping Indian football? Satyam, you understand. Sorry, nothing. You have no clue what you're talking about. With all respect, with all due respect, you're defending someone who's a crook. Period. Prithviraj answers that passion man is blocking and sending legal notices to other passionate men. Someone who doesn't respect his peers and is condescending is not really needed in pro setup. Yeah. Yeah. Very well said. And what we are activated, says Debu. And I said, your passionate man got us banned by FIFA. Yeah. People still defending Scooter shows how dumb they are. Oops, I shouldn't have said that word. Blue. There's a racist guy here amongst us. Apparently, he hates Bengalis to his core and support Odisha FC. Anwar is a great player, but he's too much injury prone and he has more serious health concerns to worry about. Debu, that's the problem. That's why Mumbai City FC did not, said we're not taking the player because he has a health problem, right? So the question should be, how is he playing? But Ranjit Sagar, given such big talent, Anwar is big in our nation as academy of 90 players with mostly from he's doing something and others are just talking, not you, sir. Satyam, he's not doing anything. Sorry, what? I mean, you've bought his whole propaganda, right? Aditya trying to explain to you, brother, please stop believing him and start believing what you see with your eyes. Very well said. CFA is the local league. They should play at local stadium. One will not go to Kolkata to support my local club for Hooghly, right? Yeah, but that's the way it's planned. But his academy is doing good? No, he's not. Who says he's doing good? Yeah. Whenever Candy is doing and spending money on youngsters, not good as Africa, but they're doing something. Why then so many things? Again, Satyam, you're so. Where do I start? Where do I stop? If you believe all of these things, then what? There's no point of having a discussion, really. So again, and you don't even understand what you're saying. Sorry to say that. As I said, with all due respect, you're supporting and defending someone that I can't say anything. Sitting in the wrong chat, go to check the football YouTube channel and praise for chats there. I think it's a bit harsh questioning legacy of the Goan club for though that its best has been packed and you take talking about its lowest point when crowns were low. Nikhil, when was the Fatoda packed? When was the last time the Fatoda was packed for a match of a club from one of these four clubs? When I've been there, I've seen maximum a few hundreds. And I've been there a few times over the years. So there's no legacy. Come on. Do we have more owners like him who speaks openly like to spend own money on youngsters? If yes, then tell me one passionate like him. He didn't. Again, there are many people who do their work and you don't know their work. There are much better people. This gentleman got us banned by FIFA. Do you understand that? He has harmed. He says he's a proud Indian, right? But he's got us banned by FIFA. So don't come with this blah, 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 whatever. You don't understand what you're talking. Sorry. And if you believe what he says, as some have said, you're hearing the wrong. We are the honest guys, trying to have an honest discussion. Those are fake discussions. Those are, and look what he's tried to do in the Anwar Ali case. Look what he's trying to do in the case of Interkashi. It's a joke what you're trying to defend. Wait, Deep Six continues to build Oh, I must say that India will get its own energy for it. So rather, all of this, yeah, I sent me a jersey of Delhi FC last year when I went to India in 2023 December. Good for you. I hope you don't wear it. The last Chatur Brother I League home match was packed and had a crowd of 10K talking about attendances, which is more than what ISL clubs get. Oh, Nikhil, now you're starting that discussion. First of all, the Raya ground doesn't hold 10K, so that's the first point. For one-off matches, maybe two matches, we're fine. How many people have been watching Churchill Brothers at the Tilak Maidan over the years? How many people? Come on. Yeah. We can have this discussion. Very nice. Don't make them bigger and greater than they are. They're not. CFO should be expanded to West Bengal, but it won't. Yeah, but they're not going to do it. Turn to your life after months, you still discuss some things. This shows development of Indian football. Rhythm, that's the problem. Where are we developing? Dude, there are some personal issues you have with him. I don't have any personal issues, Satyam. I don't care. I don't care about other people. I want people to do things which are right for Indian football, and he's harming our football. And if people like you are helping him, supporting him, that's a problem. Then you are a problem as well for Indian football, in my opinion. Sorry, right? Anyone who supports him is a problem for Indian football. He's a problem for India. Then you don't support Indian. If you support him, you do not support Indian football. I'll go as far as that. Because this gentleman has harmed Indian football numerous number of times. Period. Dempo are good though. They've won the I-League. They are a great team, but what was the amount of people supporting them over the years? That is what we're talking about, right? One-offs, two-offs, The last time for those practice FC game in early era of ISL. Yeah. Therefore, the pact for Torda is a myth. So therefore, I don't buy it. The only ideology around the has for football development and not personal power and kingmaker power once like Ranjit Bajaj. Thanks, Aditya. Legacy of a club has also got to do with titles won and amount of players produced at one time. 7 out of 11 nationals were from Goa. ISL today has killed Goan football. Nikhil, ISL has not killed Goan football. And if you want to win titles, right? Titles and players produced and all that kind of stuff, I'm fine with that. We can talk about that. But if you don't have a fan base, if you've never tried to build a fan base, right? Then you can't call yourself, that is the reality. So therefore, ISL has never killed Goan football because due to the ISL, FC Goa has been created, and these others, So yeah, and legacy to me, Nikhil, let me put it this way: yesterday's success matters little to nothing in regard to the future of Indian football. We need to talk about what is being done at grassroots, at youth level, what is being done at the transitional level, and what is happening at the senior level. And if I look at that, Mr. Dempo, one of the Salgaonkar brothers were part of the ISL, right? They were the original owners of FC Goa, and then they misbehaved with Ilano and with others, and even put him in jail for a few hours, or not in jail, but he was sitting at the police station. So therefore, that's the reality. That's what the reality is, and they moved away, right? And then Dempo, Mr. Srinivas, I would say smartly decided to say, listen, I pull out of the alley and I focus on youth development. Created infrastructure, built something that he should have done earlier. And yes, 7 out of 11 national team players were from Goa, but are these players, were they produced by the big clubs or were they produced by smaller Goan clubs? Which is still the case of players who are getting into FC Goa, right? Bryson Fernandez was not created by these, they were created by smaller clubs. So that's the reality. So I don't understand what people always talk about legacy. I mean, football don't even qualify in the third round of FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Gulzari, a very important point, and that's the point, no? Yeah. So therefore, that's the thing. That one, Ben, we should leave that thing now. Now we should move forward. No, Satyam, if you are going to go that route of defending this gentleman and saying, oh, he does stuff for India, he's not done, right? And he's gotten us banned, and he's at the moment trying to get us banned again. So therefore, no, I'm not going to move over. And as long as people like you don't understand this, and you making him a hero out of him, I'm trying to be very, very nice to you and try to explain it to you in the most nicest way, right? And not only me, but the others are trying to explain to you as well. Then if you don't understand, it is no point of having a discussion. It's like you're trying to tell us, oh, Kerala and Bengal needs football specific stadiums. It's not going to happen. We don't need to talk about it. Yeah. So that's the reality. And now, just for instance, I don't know the details. Jaideep Basu told in one interview the big issue of Profit was him overdoing his terms as president. Can you shed some light? There were no term limits. What is Joydeep talking about? This is the Roshan, these people, again, he belongs to that group of people who think they know and understand stuff, right? Yeah. He doesn't, right? Term limits is something that the new sports code is supposed to put in, right? So therefore, there were no term limits when Profil was there. So I will support him as he's helping my nation youth, sir. I am not trying on that one band, which is fast. Okay, Satyam, I've tried my bit to explain to you. After this, for today at least, I'm not taking any of your comments. I've tried my bit. If you're defending such people, I don't want to have a conversation with people like you. And I tell that to anybody else, right? If you're defending him, and if there's no point of defending him, right? Forget it. I've tried. Church was trying to be a Catholic club by poking Catholic sentiments. Oh, gosh, okay. Right now, this live chat is an example of the men toxicity brought by social media. Guys, let's chill and discuss. Yeah, exactly. Right? This is the reality of people who don't understand things, who have no clue of what they're talking about. They want India to be successful. They believe these kind of people and believe their stories, their lies. And we are where we are because of that. If people understood where we are, what our problems are, we could have a nice conversation, but we're not. So that's the reality. This, and Prithviraj, thanks for pointing this out. I've tried my best to explain, I've not even gone to the part of age fraud. I don't even know how old some of these players are. Some of them are 5, 7, 8 years older than they supposedly are. Why do these players fall by the wayside when they're 22, 23? Because they're not 22, 23. They are close to 30 or above 30 maybe, right? So all these titles also at youth level, at under 15, under 17, 18, 13, these are not duty. Where is we discussed yesterday, where's that supposedly World Cup 2034 squad? No, it doesn't exist. The story, the goalpost as shift. No achievement, right? So that's the reality. Sir, does Churchill Brothers not know about CAS order? They are still posting about the I-League trophy even today. I mean, this is utter shamelessness. Naveen, Churchill Brothers will know or get to know. Yes, they 100% know about it. But Churchill Brothers are another example of an entity in India which thinks that they are so good, they are so important to Indian football that nothing is gonna, change things in a negative way. These guys don't realize that you've done very well this season on the field, no doubt about it. But this is something, if you don't act properly, is going to get you in even more bigger trouble. So, yeah, let's see. Why British OCI players struggle make it into Premier League? They got best facilities, quality coaching, good competition, but even after all this, they don't make it into Premiership. Is a recent thing. Most probably it is. Yeah, and this is something, and this is something which is a reality. And there is a problem on racism. Yes, 100%. There is in English football, and it has not become less over the last decade or years. It's stayed or it's grown, and it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem in English football. It was a problem. It is a problem. Will be a problem most probably, and it's very disappointing to see. And Therefore that's a reality. So therefore that's where it is. And I'll just take this as a reaction. Maybe Ranjit should have stuck to his academy club and not wander around making menace for others. Yeah, but even at his club, he was not doing good work because playing overage players, I don't know how much work it is. Karabas is in a downward spiral. What should they do to win back relationship with fans? Pablo's animation, I think the blasters, first of all, difficult part is to give a reality check to the fans and say, guys, what are we trying to achieve? To me, they need to rebuild the trust in the club, in the management, in the owners. That should be something. Do over the summer, do an event, whatever. Try and rekindle that, and that's important. But also tell them very, very clearly. Say, guys, it's very difficult, in my opinion. Dempo and Salgaka was good overall, but Churchill, Dempo Sports Club and Salgaka were good. But again, how much of a fan base did all of these clubs have? Or do they have? Right? So that's the problem. Take this from Blue as well. Do you see his recent interviews? If you can explain how he's helping India with this logical explanation of why Churchill should be champion, would support him for the rest of my life. Good luck. Yeah, Blue said that. Is Anwar a world-class level player? No, he's not even a South Asia level player. Zorawar is not even an Indian level player. So let's forget it. Man, I had some support for Bajar, but after the whole Intercash fiasco, has completely lost his followers. Not to mention he's not cleaning his image, blaming AIFF instead of his own stance. Yeah, that's the problem. Go and ecosystem such that most players come from inter-village clubs. 2 Dempo Sports Club, Sargaka Church was sporting club and national team that's been good, but now with Joseph Siko, it's affected system. Nikhil, yes and no. But the point here is that it's not just to be blamed on the ISL and FC Goa. I think the blame goes to the clubs. Look at Salgaonkar has fully pushed back, dissolved the club, gone to youth development. I remember we had a long conversation about development and stuff in 2014 when we were there with Hoffenheim in Goa, and we did a camp with Salgaonkar, and I had a long conversation with Swati Salgaonkar about the topic, and they clearly said, listen, also the money is spending in regard to having even an I-League team. They and that time they said, the spending of the I-League teams was going to a level where Salgaonkar did not want to compete. Dempo did try, right? Dempo's pushed and won 5 I-League titles. And but otherwise, it is something. But I think the blame falls also to the Goa Football Association, which has not been stable since Savio Messias has left. That is also a reason. I think that is there. And but there are routes. Irfan Yadwad via Bangalore United and all. So it's also a matter of Goan players wanting to venture out. Liston Colasso became Liston Colasso at Mohun Bagan, right? So therefore, that's also reality. So that's the thing. Oh God, we've got too much of this. Exactly, Blue. I've left it, but again, let's talk other things, guys. Right? I was selling all these players to Asset, takes the money, splits against FST, although his players are so world class enough said to understand his logic. Roshan, there is no logic to it. Yeah. There are people in AIFF maybe don't know that even IOC and FIFA can't disrespect CAS order if CAS would have given the decision in favor of Vinesh Phogat at Paris. You Olympics wouldn't have done. UWFW wouldn't have done anything. Yeah, exactly. And CAS will take a decision which is, and taking it to the next level. So people take credit for development of Indian footballers, but none of footballers that perform well on national stage, Asian level. Forget about world level. But Zari, why world world level is a discussion we should not be even getting into. World level is, but so therefore, even Asian level is something we can't get to. If we are honest, I look at the track record, and with all respect to my friend Sunil is not Asian level. Sorry. Look at what the Sporting Lisbon coach is. Is racism a problem in your country or Europe's football community? Rhythm, it's an English problem. It's not that much, so yeah, it's a big problem in England. Ochit says ages ago when Tara TV started Bengal Interview used to do their production. I remember a show hosted by Goswami with Das Munsi, Priya Das Munsi, PK manager Antonio Goswami's panels. They said we will play World Cup in the near future. Ochit, and this is the dream, that has been sold to the football fans over decades now. And where are we? That's the question that I ask people. I said, where are we? How far have we left? So therefore, no, that's it's a reality, and yeah, Indian race is not even close to European racism. Oh God, that's an own difficult topic, and this is not doing for Indian football but for himself. Yeah. I know breaking the program takes time, Satyam, but you'll eventually learn about all this. Thanks. In IPL, there's a public auction and salaries of players is public. What is the practical issues? Probably answer considering there is a salary cap. There isn't. Babalus, there isn't anything. But again, we knew in the first season, for example, what everyone was earning because in the first season after the draft, which we had, the salaries were known, but not after that. Distant Kalasu was made by Sarkaka. CEO was at the club since Monwang made most of hard work done by Distant Sarkaka. Nikhil, I wouldn't say that. And I'll tell you why. Yes, Sarkaka laid the groundwork, did the foundations. FC Goa did a little bit. Hyderabad took him to a certain level. But again, for an Indian standard, Liston Kalasu is a talented player, so don't understand this wrong. Yeah, but at Mohun Bagan, he's up that level because he's playing, training with players. Yeah. So I would say that. Roshan says, I watched interview with Churchill Brothers coach as part of the I-League fiasco. Very fine coach to have in India. And he did a good job with Churchill Brothers, whether they win I-League or not. Yeah, 100%. He did a very, very good job. And therefore, give him credit for that. Hi, Jack. In all this chaos going on in the football, I'm feeling a bit happy as Liverpool FC won the league. You never walk alone, says Jack. Yeah, congratulations to those of you who are Liverpool Football Club supporters. LFC winning the league under Arne Slot in style, to say the least. Yeah. Salgaka FC dissolved because of how unfairly they were treated. They were asked to pay franchise fee, which shouldn't be the case. Football is played on merit and not who decides to pay franchise fee. Who says that? Again, Nikhil, I've had this instance now for people claiming things. They were never asked to franchise fee. Who says that? And Salgaka FC were dissolved because there are other issues in the background regard to their main business, their core business. So, and that was the case in the past, which, for example, with JCT, when JCT said, listen, we will not have a team in the I League, we will pull back and only have a smaller team playing in the Punjab Super League or State Super League, sorry, Punjab State Super League. That was the league, right? So this is not something, and football is not played on merit. There's a lot of countries where money is a deciding factor. And of course, it is a deciding factor if you want to go up or down. I'm seeing that at the moment here in Germany in the 4th division, where 3 clubs have pulled out because no one did a financial check. And again, the whole relegation and promotion race has become a joke because of that. So money is a factor. By the way, I saw some guys saying 30-team top league with 3 zones and then 16 players. They don't understand. AIFF can't even organize a straight knockout tournament talking about 30 club league. Blue, the point is, people don't understand the basics of football these days, in my opinion. Sorry, I'll be brutal. So therefore, if you, what am I going to say? It is insane. So why don't Indian players go to other European leagues who are only English? Indian players going to English? Which Indian player has gone to the English league? There's only been one, and that was Baichung Bhutia 26 years ago. There's been no other Indian player. Indian players don't go to Europe. Beauty of sports is uncertainty of results, relegation, promotion, giant killing, upsets. We love this game. Remember Sakaka 4-3 Pagan. Nikhil, yes, but it's also about financial stability. And clubs and entities are losing money. Yeah? And that's why we loved Interkashi beating BFC. Sports should be on merit and not who agrees to pay franchise fee. If sports was about money, Leicester would have never be champions. Nikhil, you're talking and as an English example. You're talking about an English example which doesn't make sense. Yeah. So for me, look at the MLS model, look at the Australian model, look at the Canadian model. That's the model we should look at. That's the model where we are. Don't you think before 2047 you should target qualifying U17 men's and women's while giving it high priority rather than seniors and spending money in it because those better will make it to World Cup? Jack, I think yes, we need to focus on the youth, 100%. And but we're not there. We're not there where we need to be at this moment in time. And it's a challenge, I think, to generally talk about it. Women's, yes, can be a priority, but the others are also now putting in players of origin. And therefore, it is getting much, much more difficult than it has been in the past. Rather, we should speak about the decision-making lacking in Liston we see every time on Asargo, because these are stuff you learn under if it listens everything but football like you. Harsh, Debu, but yeah, that's something. So I started following football from India was Pakistan's SAF match. I think main problem with people in India who follows India football for so long time don't understand rules and regulations till now. Yeah, very, very right. When I started following Indian football, I thought, why Indian people watch European football? But now I completely agree with all those fans. Yeah, Naveen, it is much, that is something that there is. In Vietnam, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan model, is there any franchise fee? Nadeem, that's a different model. What are you comparing? Now the next Mr. Bajaj friend has turned up, right? Sorry, what are you comparing? We have a franchise-based model. So stick to the American model, to the Australian model. What are you comparing it with? Right? Wrexham is a classic example that you need money and vision to run a club and expertise, right? Right? My point is very simple. If Humphreys and all these guys uh, um, were not there with all the money that Rob and Ryan have, right? It wouldn't have worked, right? So therefore, Wrexham is a good example of money, vision, planning, and implementation. We're talking about a club who, a few years back, was struggling to stay in the 5th tier National League football in England, right? These guys come in with a plan, with an idea, and signed in Phil Parkinson, the right head coach. Brought in legends of the clubs. But you've seen that this season, those legends of the clubs had to be phased out, because now in League One, if you want to push for championship, you have to move up. And the real test for Wrexham is next season, because now you'll be facing teams like Southampton, like Leicester City, right? Teams who have Premier League pedigree. I think it's unfair to comment about clubs' personal affairs here without knowing much. We were giant killers back in 90s, and Bruno stand Kolkata and continued ever since. Nikhil, I know Sargaonkar a little bit, so therefore I can comment on it. So therefore, so therefore that's the reality, right? Mima played 2017 U20 World Cup, but has it changed anything? Yeah, it has, but not the way that Myanmar would have liked, because there are politics involved in the way the country are run. Michael Weiss, who I know, a German guy, has been a coach over there. He tried a lot of things, but wasn't able to do it because the country isn't the country that the state it is in. What are your thoughts on Suhail from PFC and Kuru? Jack, both of them have to work hard. Suhail has done well for himself to develop over the season. I think he wasn't as good as he is now that he was at the start of the campaign, so I give him credit for that. And Kuru has done well, but he's been, for me, a little bit under the radar. And yeah, let's see. Yes, I know, but that I'm saying is players should go to other European leagues rather than England if racism is their excuse. Rhythm, no one's going to take Indian players, you know? So therefore, that's the reality, right? And that's the reality. We had the Uzbek, Tajik, Vietnam model till 2014. The other three stick with their models. We changed Vietnam clubs were struggling fans. They just continued investing in grassroots. Nadeem, if it was so simple, and if we would know what has happened since 2014, do you know that in 2012, Reliance went to the I-League clubs, wanted to bring in corporates, do corporate partnerships with the clubs and say, listen, you will be adopted by XYZ, put in the name, we'll make the I-League into an ISL type of league. It was turned down, right? And to compare us to Uzbekistan, whoever does this has no effing clue about football. Uzbekistan has been better, yeah, than us since Uzbekistan as a country has been formed, right? Vietnam changed a lot in its structure of its league. They had foreign experts coming in and building their league with the clubs. In India, the clubs did not want to change. Look at today, Churchill Brothers. Churchill Brothers is still behaving pre-2014. You want to do that model in India? Please do. You know where we would be now? Today, we would not be even beating a Bhutan if we'd continued with that model. But I think certain people are not capable of understanding that despite of not bringing us to the level that I think we should be or could be, that without the ISL, we would be worse off. And that is something. Look at the AIFF. Do you think the AIFF can run a league next season given the circumstances that there are in? No. But people are still defending that. It is a disgrace. Yeah. Of course, expertise. It was the main reason why Eastern German clubs vanished away from German football during the 90s. Roshan, very good example. You know, if you see the East Germans thought after the unification, you know, that they can continue their way of how they were running the DDR Oberliga clubs, which was not even semi-pro, it was amateur. You know, so that's the reality. Today's show makes me nostalgic how Indian football has moved from the early 90s to the present day. NFL matches started with fanfare. Achut, I remember I was in Kolkata during that time, December 1996. I even went to a few matches on the Kolkata Maidans. I was one of few people who was watching the matches of the non-Kolkata clubs. This is the realities, right? So therefore, that's the thing. Vietnam have played World Cups in age group, last 8 in Asian Cup, runners in U20 Asian Cup. Nadeem, what are you comparing us with? Look at their youth development, look at their grassroots, which have been implemented by the clubs, yeah? Right? So, and on top of that, the National Federation is doing its work as well. Who's doing the work in India? Nobody, right? So, I saw AFC Asian Cup U17 was playing with 2 red cards against Saudi, but scored 2 goals and clean sheet and won the tournament. They are the dark horses. Rhythm, Uzbekistan has been doing well, but hey, that's the reality. Reason why Bayern is still the GOAT, because Bayern is the most well-run club in the world, or maybe it's Real Madrid City. Yeah. Again, if you look at Real Madrid, the moment to see that they're a well-run club would be difficult. And City, of course, a City football group, but then there are allegations against them. And from that perspective, yeah, most probably, you know, so that's it. It is so easy to manipulate people in India through talking, says Rawar. Yeah, that's the reality. Uzbekistan won the Asian Games gold in football under Rustam Akramov, who later coached in India. Yeah, Akramov. Islam Akhmedov was our under-17 coach in 2002 when we reached the quarterfinals. And Islam said, I remember used to say, and he's a coach now himself still, he was a coaching instructor. We are the underperformers of Asian football. I remember he told me that, and I understand, and I do agree on that point, because that is something which is the problem for Uzbekistan, has been, and maybe now, over 30 years since independence, maybe now is the time for Uzbekistan to go to the next level and be capable of doing something. So, do you think Indian leagues don't have fan followings until India will start to perform on an international stage, or it can increase by famous international footballers which clubs can't afford? See, you've had international stars coming in at the start of the ISL over the top. One has to be honest, and I don't know the international level. I think clubs need to connect with the sport, and the sport needs to be better as a quality on the field, and needs to market itself better. But all of these things are linked with money. You need to get more money into the system, otherwise it will not happen. Right? Only hope for Indian football at present is OCI players, and that's the point. It will not come from within India. Even development will not come from within India. It will come from abroad. It will come from the outside. It will come from the NRIs. That's my thing. That's my whole point, right? What about the AIFF contract with FSA? Is it terminated? I haven't followed it, so I don't know anything. Rhythm, I suggest watch my shorter videos, as I said, not only to other people as well. I did something a couple of days back. AIFF Reliance, will they be able to agree on a new MRA? go through it. I think I discussed things in a little bit more detail. At this moment, the contract is not extended. The contract is ending at the end of the year, and that also raises a question of if it's going to continue. I think people of Cape football can manage Indian football better than AIFF. That is what I don't think. Again, that's another discussion, and so therefore, to me is that's not working. In the previous U17 Asian Cup, Uzbekistan played final against Japan and lost, but now they won it. This time, our Indian U17 score was on the same level, but due to politics, we aren't in competition now. We were not on the same level. If people are telling me, right, that our U17 was of the same level as Uzbekistan, then people don't know what they're talking about. We were never of the level of Uzbekistan. These FIFA rankings were a joke in itself. Do you think that we were ranked 96th, 95th in the world? Huh? Right? Good evening, Dark Knight. Akramov tried to change things, did decent, but then he was sent packing, right? So, welcome to Indian football. AIFF should focus on the football-loving states like West Bengal, Kerala, and Northeast. The rest of the country can be developed later. So, Rafa, that's not going to work because what's the focus on Kerala and Bengal? What are we doing right? That would be my counter argument when we're talking about development of football in India. I can talk about Mizoram. Mizoram has done very, very well. Tete has put a lot of things in place. Manipur has its own set of problems, but they're still successful bringing up players. But then we have to look for states or for regions, right? Karnataka has done well. If contract runs out in December 2025, then there wouldn't be any ISL in October 2025. Am I correct? Yes, Ochit. That's the danger that we're looking at, that there might not be an ISL if things don't change, right? And, but that's not going to work. The way Cape is played, it's kind of like futsal. It can be, it doesn't have to be, right? There are also bigger Cape grounds, 7-a-side grounds. And Cape is not futsal, but futsal is actually an indoor game. It's not an outdoor game. Like, why people underestimate Uzbekistan so much? They look much stronger than Australia and Asian Cup. Yeah, 2023 AFC Asian Cup in Qatar. They will because they've never, Australia has played multiple World Cups now in a row. Uzbekistan has never qualified for a World Cup. And therefore now, that's why Australia is rated higher. So let's see. Why under Bigana Finals we defeated them 2-0, then got defeated 3-0, and Australia we lost by only 1-0 due to Bigana's defensive approach. We also scored 4 against Japan and drew Real Madrid. Jack, there are 2 or 3 things. The 2-0 or the 3-0 loss, those are friendlies. Take them and put them way back. Yes, Asian Cup we lost, but we could have lost in a bigger way than that. And the scoring 4 is nice. I've said this multiple times. That against Japan, we should be speaking about we conceded 8. Scoring goals is nice. But at some stage, when you're leading a game by such a big margin, you stop pushing yourselves, right? So therefore, from that perspective, the reality is and we drew Real Madrid home. That was the C team of the under-17s. That's a semi-pro team. So not a semi-pro. It's a grassroots team. So therefore, and I've seen that team here in Germany. That was the worst I've seen. So therefore, our under-17s have not been good for the last few editions. Why people get surprised when their powers in past always had the potential just going through a bad phase. Even in their bad phase, many of their players played in Russia. So now, as I said, the comparison doesn't hold, and they were always better than us. And therefore, this comparison, even made in the Supreme Court of India, shows you the ignorance of these people who are talking about football. Right? You are comparing us with nations we should not be even thinking about because we have not done our homework. But again, people will say a lot of things when the day is long, and that's a big problem. Uzbekistan ranked 5 and one of the centers selected. Man City and more will come, I believe. I just enjoy, eat. Yeah, Rhythm, that's very well said. Uzbekistan is on the right track, in my opinion. Let's see how far they can go, they can get. They're doing a lot of things right. I have been doing a lot of things right, in my opinion. Khusanov, that's the name. And yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of things that Uzbekistan, now their players are breaking through. Ravulov has been at now in Italy, I don't know for how many years. And therefore, Uzbekistan and us, that comparison, whoever's making that comparison doesn't understand football. Sorry to say that again. Right, 1 hour and 56.5 minutes already crossed. Coming to an end of this live. Satyam, I've not taken your comments because of all the rubbish that you've been saying, and I don't want to accept that. And again, therefore, if you want to defend that person, please do it, but don't do it on this platform, because then I will not take your questions. Again, we can have a very nice conversation, but that gentleman has harmed Indian football, and if you're not going to take things the way that, not only me, but the people here who come understand those things, that's going to be my point. I'm going to have a nice discussion about it. Let's see where it goes. But trust me, sir, if the same match would have played this time with 20 Asian Cup qualifiers, and would have been shown in semi-finals of Asia Cup after qualifier. Jack, no chance. No chance. This is the worst under-17s I've seen in the last 2.5 decades. So, not even in my wildest dreams. In a few years, they will trash Qatar, I believe. Let's see if Uzbekistan can. Zonava says good night. Blue says good night. And a final last reminder to you guys, do leave a like behind. Share it with other people. Let's grow. And speak about the right things in Indian football, because that is, I think, very, very important. And I think I need to be a little bit more strict with things where where people try and raise topics which makes no sense. I'll just put a timeout on it. I think it's a sad start, but I think I needed to start this. And yeah, that's going to be the case. What I'll do, if you're not going to be on the right side of football, you'll be timed out, because I'm fed up of this rubbish, of this BS that's being spread, which is harming our Indian football day in, day out. People claim that they're doing things for Indian football. They're doing great things for Indian football. They're helping, they're saving Indian football, this, that. And these people are actually harming Indian football because they don't understand. They don't have an understanding. They lack knowledge. And again, they care about themselves. They don't care really about Indian football. And that needs to end. And therefore, I've done that. Didn't want to do it, but I have to do it. And that's the reality. It is your opinion, but I think it was a very good batch. Jack, I've seen them, and I've seen I think no one else who's seen so many under-17 squads in the last 2.5 decades. So therefore, we're not even qualifying for the under-20s. How can you say that we'll reach semi-finals? Which team? No logic, my friend. Sorry. And Real Debu, last question. Come on, hit it out. India can't beat Bangladesh. Worst thing, India would have been on the losing side. Yeah, but that's the reality. All right, so that's the end for today. Thanks a lot, guys. And Naveen, I'll take this one and then I'll end. So I respect you the way you talk always about right. Meet more people like you in football. Thanks, Naveen. And with that, I'll end. And I'll speak to you very soon. Good night, everyone.